Timothy Boykin. Good morning, sir. Thank you for being with us.
All the way to mining station.
You can proceed. Thank you very much.
John, I'll have a couple of scripts I'd like to read.
Absolutely.
First one, and then one everybody's familiar with. Second Chronicles 7:14 says, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land." That's 4 conditions with 3 promises, and we rely on that very much these days. And in Psalm 33, verse 12 says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people he has chosen as his own inheritance." That's right. Father, in the name of Jesus, I lift up this court today and ask you, Lord, to give them the divine knowledge that you can impart to them and make the decisions that need to be made. And for this county, I just praise you and thank you for their service. I thank you, Lord, for this gathering of your people. I ask you, Lord, to lift up this nation for the decision that's fixing to be made this tomorrow. And Lord, we ask you, Lord, to give this nation a supernatural peace that can only come from you. I know there's a lot of strife and discontent and disagreement on a lot of things in this nation, but Lord, we are all one people. And we praise you and thank you for the decision that will be made tomorrow. I ask you, Lord, to watch over this county, Lord, the people in this county, Lord, to protect them and bless them. I ask you a special blessing on the ones that have been affected by this hurricanes that we've had in Florida, North Carolina, Kentucky. And I just give you all the praise and glory for what you're doing in us and our nation and our world, because you're the one that we need to follow and follow more closely now than ever. And we give you all praise and glory and honor in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Citizens' comments on our minutes of the October the 28th meeting.
Approved minutes on October 29th meeting.
Been moved and seconded that we approve those as they are prepared. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? There's none. Treasurer auditors reports. None today. Burn ban.
So I'm still doing good.
Still good. Employee changes, sheriff's department.
Good morning, everybody. We've got 2 changes. One of them, I don't know if y'all remember, but a few weeks ago, our Rick Cottrell, who was the maintenance guy, the janitor at the law enforcement center, retired after 17 years. So I'm replacing him with Sharon Petty at the rate of $33,000 per year. Rick was making $38,160, so we're going to do about $5,000 in savings in the budget on that hire. And then the next one is going to be a part-time med clerk who's replacing Melanie Almgren, who left back in August. I'm hiring Jonathan Massey at the rate of $14.80 an hour. That's the only 2 that I have.
I make a motion to approve both of these employment changes for sheriff's department.
So, been moved and seconded that we approve employee changes that are proposed by the sheriff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There is none.
Jail report, 149 inmates, 2 under contracts. Coming down a little bit.
Precinct 1 Commissioner Gary Worley has employee changes. Just this one. He is proposing that looks like Chad Hallam is going from a part-time road hand or a temporary road hand. He's been a temporary for 4 years to a full-time road hand at the rate of $40,000 a year. Is that correct? Is that what all it says?
Yes. Make a motion to approve it.
Mr. Wonder, send it to the treasurer.
It's been moved and seconded that the employee change proposed by Mr. Worley move Chad Howell to a full-time position, full-time permanent position at $40,000 a year is approved. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
I got a question. You signed this, but you didn't not be here. Will you sign this? But
Well,
you're absent.
I would scratch through that, he's been absent, yeah. IT project update.
Good morning. This isn't the formal update that we do quarterly, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to ask questions and kind of provide you with an update. We're working on several projects. One, we've got the county attorney's office moved to their new location, and so I just wanted to verify that's going on. Two, we had a power issue that I know you're aware of with the contractor at Law Enforcement Center. And we're moving forward with trying to, everyone that was involved in that is safe and home, which I'm very thankful for. But we're continuing to work with Josie and the auditor's team on an insurance claim for work that's going to need to be done at the Law Enforcement Center in the future. That will require some coordination with the sheriff because there's going to be scheduled downtime more than just a few minutes.
Sir, question is that an our insurance over that, or is it partially the contractors? I mean, I'm not sure where we're at.
I think it's been submitted on the county's insurance initially, and I know that I would expect them to come out and look at it and ask questions before it moves forward, but that's the extent of what I know at this point. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, of course, there's two different types of insurance claims. One's for the personal injury, and one's for the mechanical.
Right.
You're talking about the mechanical.
I'm talking about them making the physical replacement of anything that's damaged. Yes, sir.
And so that whatever, draw a blank, what they were installing.
Yes, they were there to install a surge suppressor in the building because the building has taken multiple surges, which has affected not just electronic, like IT equipment, but also other equipment, air conditioning, et cetera, that we've talked to Chief Deputy Stroop about over the last year plus.
And that surge protector is actually what was damaged, right?
I don't believe it was damaged. The main distribution panel is what was damaged because of the arc or whatever you would call it.
Okay, so, I mean, and I went out there and looked at it, and so that little box that like, where the arc was, that was not the surge.
No, sir, that's the main distribution panel where it comes in from Encore and then distributes out to the building. And there is like fire damage to that.
Yeah, it was pretty very obvious, yes.
I can add a little bit to that. They're trying to find a plug and play replacement switch, a button up breaker. But Square D, who manufactures it, is saying that there's an upgrade part around $40,000. So the electrical company and Square D are working on what we need to do about that.
Yeah, typically in a newer building, the sheriff's right, like that, the main distribution panel will have a surge suppressor built into it. They were trying to retrofit the older panel with that, but now the older panel has damage because of this arc. And safety now. So that's kind of where we are on that. I submitted things to just some language to the auditor's office, but when you have your insurance adjuster contact you from TAG, please get with us and we'll answer any questions. I also had our team write up a narrative on the day of the issue of everything that took place and kind of what happened in case there's any questions on the county's part, just to protect everyone involved from that. But thankfully, the person that was hurt in that event was home within a couple of days. And every time we checked on him, we're told that he's doing well, just going through some rehab after that. Tyler, we met, as far as the IT committee met, week ago, this past Friday. The goal is to have that before the court sometime before Thanksgiving, or maybe that first meeting right after Thanksgiving. This was Josie about that on Friday, as y'all are working through financial funding methods for that. But there's no real major update on that at this point. And then the last thing that I had is just a reminder, the election, of course, is tomorrow. Our team has people on site. We have contingency plans in place for the election if there's any kind of internet outage. We have seen some security issues at other counties that were directly, the county was directly, not this county, but other counties were directly targeted because of the election. So some of the side that you see in the news, we're seeing that at a small local level. But we're taking every precaution we can. Our team's gonna be spread out across our service area, and our help desk is staffed from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow, meaning human will answer during those hours, and then we have on call past that. So I personally will check in with Brenda today and just make sure that things are going on. She has everything she needs, but we've been checking on her throughout this early voting period and getting good feedback.
Can you elaborate on what you told me, what's been happening with the election office?
It's through email. So phishing is when someone just casts a wide net and tries to get anyone to click something they shouldn't. Spear phishing is where they know who the election administrator is, they know their name, they know their email address, and they're sending them a direct email trying to get them, trick them into disclosing information that they shouldn't. And that's what we've seen happening in the state of Texas during early voting. I will just say, because this is a broadcast, that in Texas, I can't speak to other states, but in Texas, the election machines are not connected to the internet in any form or fashion. They do not rely on internet service. They cannot be hacked through internet service. The thing that the county relies on from an internet perspective is for reporting the election results, meaning how you tabulate the vote, how people vote is completely independent of the internet. But once the vote, once the tabulation comes out of that machine and is verified through the process, those results are uploaded to the Secretary of State to report for election. That's how your news gets it. So
Well, that has to do the deal when you have voting box, you know, how they communicate.
yes, sir.
Each other's one party voting.
So that is the there's a technical term for it, but that's basically to verify who is registered to vote. That is independent of the machine where you actually vote, where you cast your ballot. But they do verify you with the county's database to see if you're registered to vote electronically. That does rely on the internet. If they think that they got the wrong result, or if, for instance, you show up to vote, say, I am registered and your computer's wrong, they can pick up the phone and call to the election office and they can manually verify it. That doesn't rely on that.
So about trying to vote into different boxes, how they know that you already voted.
When they mark you voted in one polling place, it will update through the internet to the other polling places. That's why we have contingency plans in place that if internet service were to drop at a particular polling place, we need to get it reestablished as fast as possible. There's a check and balance system when those machines come back in where they can prove if someone tried malicious to do that. But the goal is just to always have those where they're communicating and updating in real time. And we have Starlink. In addition to the hotspots that y'all have through cellular service, we have Starlink satellites that are provisioned, ready to go in a box here on the site that if we need to take them out to a place that we can get internet service reestablished. But those are all great questions. The takeaway is.
You thinking about doing
No, not unless you want to. The takeaway is where you cast your ballot is not connected to the internet in any form or fashion in the state of Texas, no matter what county it is. Other states I can't speak to, but these I do. That's what I have for you all on that. I don't know if there are a couple other items. Any questions I can answer?
that? Well, why don't you go while you're here, why don't you go ahead and take care of it?
Okay. So,
Let's see, consideration of possible approval of authorization to improve Curvos.
yes, sir. So this came before the court back at the end of September, I believe, or mid-September. You should have a handout that is item X, or I'm sorry, agenda item X and then item C. If you'll recall, we're trying to move all of the copiers in the county to a single contract so that we don't have overages in one office and then under in another office. So the goal of this project is reduce unknown expenses, streamline the copiers' features, and replace any copiers that are older. improve printing reliability, shift the troubleshooting and repair and support of all the copiers to Turbos. We're proposing this on a 5-year term that's under a Texas DIR agreement, which means it does not have to go to bid because it's already been pre-bid. And when I met with y'all last, there were 23 copiers, including the new county agent location, that were needed. Turbos, when we talked about this in September, had proposed unlimited black and white printing, meaning if you're printing black and white, you'd never get an overage bill. And at that time, they had printed a per page cost for color. We went back to them after receiving feedback from the Commissioner's Court, and their price now includes color up to 60,000 prints per year, which we don't expect to go over. We had originally asked them to propose on a monthly basis, but their suggestion was to propose on an annual basis. So that if you're under 1 month, if you're over another month, all of that comes out in the wash. If you were to cross the 60,000 prints, which you'll get an update, a statement every month, it kind of shows you where you are, is my understanding. It would be 5 cents per page, which they brought that down to 5 cents. Originally it was proposed at 6 point something. So it's a total monthly cost of $3,700 a month. If you look at page 2, you can see you're adding 1 copier that you don't have today, but you're paying before you consider overages and color printing. You're paying right at $3,200 a month today with older machines, and that's before the overage cost. So there's about a $500 per month difference, but that is unlimited black and white, up to 60,000 color, and adding an additional machine. The last page is just the actual order from Turbos that outlines pretty much what I summarized on page 2. Everyone that has a copier will have a copier in the future, meaning we're not deleting any, we're adding 1. We are exiting the contract from Xerox for the tax office and moving everything to Turbos as part of this proposal. So that agreement would go away, and it's near the end of its term. And I'm not even really sure if it's enforceable based on how it's entered into. But that's the update I have for y'all.
So I know we talked about this, they'll do each individual office separately.
So they're gonna send you 1 bill per month. There'll be no prepayment, meaning that y'all are prepaying. Sometimes, some of them they're paying for it quarterly or annually. You'll get 1 bill per month for the total amount, and it'll show you every office that's included. Only if you were to go over at the end of the year on color would you get an incremental bill for the overage.
It is.
We can, through the software, run a report that would tell you who it is. But what I would like to do, especially in this first year, Josie, is either get y'all to scan that to us, or just tell us if you're starting to see, more than 60,000 divided by 12, if you see that crossing, because we're gonna set every copier to where it defaults to black and white. The user would have to manually select color when they print or when they copy. They can do it, but we don't wanna have random color prints that aren't really necessary. And a lot of your people don't even have the ability to print color currently. And this also doesn't fully reflect is you have some machines that you're paying for toner for color out of their office supply budget, meaning that it's gonna save money in their office supply budget because they're no longer paying for that on their own. It's just we're paying a flat monthly rate. And the only thing the county has to provide is power, IT, and network to it, and paper. But if it is out of toner, has a belt problem, has any repair issue, the Turbos will take care of that. This is very similar to what we did on the printers, and that seems to be working well, and they've been very responsive anytime we turned a ticket to them, so I appreciate that. Any questions I can answer on this for you?
Have we talked to anybody else in the print business other than Turbos? There are other companies in town that
There's another company in town that does printers. My understanding is they don't do full-fledged copiers. No, that's what I've been told. I have not spoken to them. I haven't judged. What I have done is pulled other county agreements with other vendors, like out of Abilene and surrounding area, and compared this cost to that cost. And this is either, less than or in line with. That's how I came up with that 5 cent thing, where Kerbo's originally proposed 6 cents. Because we have other contracts with other vendors that are at 5 cents, so I just asked them to match that. When you look at the machines and what they're charging for the machine side of it, this is more competitive than what we're seeing with other vendors. And it is pretty good on Texas DIR. So you're covered there.
So Kerbo's is.
Yes, sir.
And so, 60,000 color, that seems pretty high.
I had numbers, let's see, so 60,000 divided by 12. It's 5,000 a month. It's pretty easy now. We saw, I can't remember, we saw where you were doing like 2,000-ish, like across the board, but over half the machines don't have the capability of color.
And when you say you're not meaning.
No, sir, like the county, yeah, sorry. So Brown County across the board, I want to say we were in the 2,300, 2,800 range of color prints per month. That's just pulling it off the top of my head. I have a spreadsheet.
I've seen numbers and I think that's.
It's somewhere in there, but Brown County currently, there are a lot of machines that don't have the capability of doing color. So the thought process is when you give them that capability, they're probably going to use it. But there are a lot of things that it's needed for, like failure to appear in notices and stuff that if you put it in red, you get a response if it's in black and white. I know that I gave a report to Commissioner's Court recently, and it was in black and white, and they didn't understand it. I gave them a color one, and it made a lot more sense. Green equals good, red equals bad.
Right.
So I don't expect you to go over the 60,000 based on what I'm seeing, but that's going to be a user education process. But that's why we're setting the machine where if they just walk up and stick something in the machine, it's going to come out black and white unless they manually override it and tell it to be colored. And the same thing when they click print, because as you all may remember, we talked about this the last time. If you print out an email that you need to have a hard copy of and it has one line that is color, that counts as a color page. So Judge, if you just click print on your computer, it's going to come out black and white unless you tell it to come out color, just so you can try to.
Can that default's not something the user can change?
The user can't change the default, is my understanding. They can override it on a case-by-case basis. But there's ways we can lock that down further if it becomes a problem. Looking at other counties, I did pull statistics like steel machine.
I'm not worried about us going over 60,000 and the cost of 5 cents a copy.
Right.
What I'm wondering is if the contract was for 30,000 instead of 60,000, would it be cheaper?
I think you would be over at 30,000. I think you might be talking about $150 a month savings. But the thing that triggers is, one, you're going to be over at certain points. Two, what we're trying to do is Josie and the auditors team, they're breaking down every overage, black and white, color, the machine cost. We're trying to streamline that where we have a fixed cost. And it's not more than we need necessarily, but it's not way less than we need. So we're not having to do cost accounting to figure out who pays for this and where does it get paid for. But let's say you went over, to your point, you said you're not worried about the overage. Even if we went over 15,000 a year in terms, $750. There are machines that you have currently that you're paying out of your pocket for toner for them, like smaller machines that replace the toner in those one time, they cost $750. That's what we're trying to get rid of. So
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that cutting it from 60 to 30 would have only saved 150 or 200. No. If you're not gonna really save that much.
Well, it may save you $100 a month, so $1,200. Let's say $100 a month, and that's $1,200 a year, or $150 a month, which is $1,800 a year.
That's fine. I was wondering if it was gonna save $10,000 a month.
Right. Or $10,000 a year.
I mean, if you $10,000 a year,
Right.
we would do something to make sure that nobody was pretty.
Well, based on the quantity of machines, like basically, we went to Kerbo's with, here's our ask, And, they have a minimum cost of doing business, meaning it costs them money to roll a truck out here for one machine or for 23 machines. I don't know, I can't speak to how much it would go down, but even if you reduced it at the 5 cents, which I would think it would be. Yeah, $125 a month if you cut that color in half. And I don't think the risk versus reward plus having to figure out how to account for it.
After the first year, we'll know if we need to adjust the contract. Perhaps at that point.
Right. And they've been very good to work with. If we've had a machine that is smaller and we want to upgrade it, they've done a swap out. I think my opinion is from Ray, who is the Curtis rep, that they want your business and they're willing to work with you as long as it doesn't. I mean, if we all of a sudden need to delete one copier because you're not using it anymore, I think they would be open to that. I can't speak for them because they have a baseline of business with Brown County. They're right here in Brown County, and so they can work with us.
Are we getting all new copiers, or are we just gonna stay with the ones we have?
So any of them that don't meet the standard will get replaced, and so any of them that are black and white, like yours, for instance, does color, is that correct? And yours is the latest generation, so yours probably would stay the same. But for instance, veterans, Sharon's, any of them that are the older machines would get upgraded, or if they only have black and white, they would get upgraded. They went ahead, I will say this, just in full disclosure, they went ahead and replaced the one in the JP's office and in the county judge's office because the JP's was having problems. The county judges went and did it to get colored to keep from having to buy another machine. They replaced that 2 months ago, anticipating this being approved. So basically the newest machine is a 5000 series and it's white in color. The other are gray or tan are the older ones, and those were the ones. But they'll all have the same features, meaning they'll all scan, copy, print, color, etc. Any other questions I can answer? On this item? Way more than you're going to know.
Once you sign the contract, when does it begin?
If the two that they've already replaced, I told them that I'd work with them to figure out like if we need to go back and pay anything different on that. But this would start as soon as they deliver the first machine, and the agreement is just that very last page that requires a signature, which just outlines everything that I've summarized for y'all. It's a 60-month agreement, as stated on page 1, 5 years, and it outlines all the details. So
I know one hour, so today it would work if that plug it, wait a little while, you can just research it and plug it.
I think they replaced the control board or something.
So our goal would be to start swapping these out as soon as as soon as they tell us they're available. But we're probably gonna do this a few at a time so that we don't have mass change all on one day and then there's a problem that it affects you all. We've got a temporary, just small black and white printer copier in place at the county attorney's office, so that might be the first one that gets done so that it can print legal and all that stuff. Other questions?
You okay? All right, so we're on to motion that we approve this.
I'll make a motion, I think the contract with Curtis for the printers, $3,700 per month. Next year.
So, as I would say that we approve the proposed contract with Curvos for a managed copier service. 23 copiers, copy, print, scan, fax with full color, all service, fair replacement toner and consumables for $3,700 a month. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Estelle?
Yeah, item D is, Commissioner Worley asked us about a month ago, it's probably been closer to 6 weeks ago, about getting internet service to his precinct board. We looked into that, had to do some site surveys. We had a couple of different companies look at it. The proposal that I presented to Commissioner Worley and that he said was fine with him to move forward, but it needs Commissioner's Court approval to enter into the agreement, is with Astound, which would put fiber to his location, which is currently not there. The monthly rate would be $155 a month, which includes the internet service and one static IP that we have to have for security reasons. And then there is a one-time build-out cost, meaning that to get the fiber from where it is to get it to the building is a one-time cost of $7,000. I pushed back on this. Well, let me tell you how we got here. I asked them to propose a monthly fee for internet service, and they came back at almost $400 a month for internet service. And when I asked them why, they said because it's gonna cost them however many $10,000+ to get it, the service there. And so, because we worked with Astound on this building and other buildings you'll have, I said, can we reduce it to a normal monthly fee? What would we have to pay as a one-time build-out cost, meaning that it's a one-time flat rate to get the service there. And
I'm sorry, when you keep saying get the service there, I'm sorry.
I mean, so there's not fiber to that location.
I don't, what location?
It says precinct 1 barn. Yes, sir. So the $155 a month is the standard business rate for other services that we have that are comparable in Brownwood. What I'm getting at is they originally proposed a much higher rate because of the build-out cost to get fiber service to the location. I asked if we pay a one-time fee, could we reduce back to the monthly standard rate? And how much would we have to pay? Would we have to pay $5,000? Would we have to pay $10,000? And that's when the build-out cost came back, and they said if we pay the $7,000 one time, we'll have permanent fiber service to the location, and then the monthly rate would be $150 to $5 a month. Commissioner Worthy pushed back and said Astound has ads on billboards in Brownwood, Texas that say, $39.99 a month or $49.99 a month. That is for residential service, and business does not qualify for that.
My daughter has service at her own shop, and it's only $50 a month.
Yeah, there's
Well,
still crazy stuff.
yeah,
I guess
when you call and get your service turned on, they'll say, is this a business or a home? And if you go, this is a home, they give you that price.
Well, I'm just telling you,
I know.
Astound told me, and I will tell you that that's standard procedure. We have service with another carrier at Veterans, and it's $150 a month. We have service juvenile probation, and it's in that range. We have, trying to think what else we have. Those are with Resound, the wireless people. The alternative to this would be to go with the wireless service, which would not have the build-out cost, but the monthly would be the same. But our opinion is getting fiber to every location Brown County has is the long-term strategy. I offered to come back to Commissioner's Court and see if we could use ARPA money that we already have set aside for the IT project for that one-time build-out. But I told Commissioner Worthy that was not originally included. So if we go over, that's going to be my first excuse as to why we went over. But he said that he was comfortable with covering that out of his precinct budget just because it's a one-time thing to get the service there. This is proposed on a subcontract, and I think those are the details that I have.
Do you know what it's for?
So the new, I don't know if Josie can speak to this, but there's a gentleman there that is, pardon me?
The new form?
The new foreman, yes. He's asked for internet service for, I don't know, internet mapping. They've never had a computer there. They haven't had internet service there in some time, is my understanding. There's currently no internet service at that location. But we went and met with him, and he seemed to be computer savvy and was asking for internet and service to do his job, which I thought was reasonable. We originally looked.
Presentation go with FEMA and all that, it sure does.
I think they did some training classes on that.
It's had the entry systems already.
And you order cards, and things like that too from there, and
It just-
emails.
We get
It just-
$60 a month.
To me, it just seems like really weird timing.
Well,
I mean, I'm just being honest.
I think
we never wanted even an email address, the previous foreman.
Yeah.
He never wanted anything to do with the computer whatsoever at all.
I mean,
Toby coming in, upgrading, is more computer savvy, I think.
Yeah.
And,
We don't use it very much as a, probably somebody at home does, in reality.
Right.
That's right now, last.
I mean, is this?
So I do know it's
Well,
related to the staff change. I mean, that's how it's presented to us, in that request.
I've kind of bitten my tongue more than once recently, but I mean, is this not something that we need to wait till the new guy decides if he wants it?
That's perfectly fine. We had the ticket turned into us requested.
Oh, I know, I'm not
We did
talking
all
to you.
our- No, we did all of our work to get it here, but that's the discretion of the board. I have no problem with that. We're going to wait until Commissioner Worley's here.
I mean, I hate to,
Hard to swallow.
I hate to say it when it says that. Who knows after January if the foreman will even be the foreman? I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's, and so it's,
Yeah, so if you wanted, I don't know if you would just take no action because table it, we trigger it to come back out next time. So how are we going to handle it? Those are the details we have. The alternatives to this to get out of the 7,000 is to put Resound, which is wireless. They've done a pretty good job at the other locations, but fiber is the goal because it's more reliable. We looked at Starlink and that was $250 a month for business services. So I think the monthly price is reasonable and is in line with business service that we have already. I think it's just another build out cost, but if you don't want to table or
yeah,
take no action on that, that's fine.
yeah, I would just make a motion to table it until we know more.
Just follow up with us when you're ready and we'll,
Yeah, I appreciate what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get a ticket on that. So,
Aren't you in here for something else?
no, sir, that's sure you did. I will. Anything else?
It's,
Other questions?
yes, one more question is, so are you, the IT committee, do you want to go ahead and figure out that date you're coming back?
I would like to talk to you this afternoon if you have time.
Yeah.
Because I want to get back with Tyler. I've kind of kept him at base. We've had other major things we're trying to get done, and then we've been singularly focused on getting past this election.
Yeah.
But I'd like to visit with you about that, because I would like to work on some pricing things, and there's some work we've done since the last time we've spoken. All right, thank you so much for your time.
Well, like I said, we, our bar in twice, we get to do other meetings, so you, maybe not real special, but we give like $60 a month.
And I can't keep up with what's Astound, what's Rustown.
We are already with them.
So Astound is,
The old Harris broadband, which is fiber optic based. Resound is wireless point-to-point like it is.
It used to be-
Solo tower.
Used to be Echo.
Echo, right,
what about?
out there on the Banks Highway or what do you call it?
He has personal.
Consideration of possible approval to install the property.
Yes, SUD is on we lower on Western Oaks. Brooks Smith, SUD is gonna do, the address is 11 CR5.
No, that's Brooksmith Water's address. It's just Western Oaks. Is where Western Oaks Lane is where they're gonna do the bore across the road.
So you make a motion.
I make a motion to approve the Dunbar County specs.
Been moved and seconded that we approve that application to install private line on Western Oaks Lane. All fair side. Any
Sorry,
opposed?
I didn't get this second.
I didn't hear you, but I believe
Consideration of possible action regarding assisting an existing employee in obtaining a CDL.
Yeah, right. By the way, Joe, while y'all got on getting the contract ready for
those guys on the CEO.
She's waiting on me, not her.
Anyway, I've got most of my job in 40 years. And he wants to kind of get in on the program.
Oh, no, it's,
And then work.
did you say?
Can't take his physical. Just get it guaranteed us. Get this agreement over to guys, send CDL school, sign contracts for 2 years.
You said two guys?
I got one.
Oh, gotcha.
Where does that money gonna come from?
It's a good investment. You know how hard CDL drivers are to find. And this guy, I said, you have to sign a 2-year contract. So I'll sign a 10-year contract. He's a good hand.
What's his name, John?
Terry Browder.
Harry Brother.
It looks like this is gonna be a thing in the future.
Yeah.
And we discussed maybe the terms on that, we were talking about that. They need to be here, maybe we kind of, I think we were talking about maybe like 6 months. Previous employment, so we have
I've
it,
got 4 years.
and then do the 2-year contract, because it doesn't obligate us to keep the 2 years, but.
Obligates
it
him to
obligates
pay
him
us back.
for the rest of the years.
Well, and I don't know if God forced us to make it if he stay, but we can make him pay us back if they leave.
Yeah, or
Reimburse
but
it.
and ask them to.
I think that's how Vance does it
That
when he
shouldn't,
sends
I
people to
believe
the
that's
county.
somebody comes in, we need to terminate or whatever, and we can't terminate.
No, you would, yeah, you would not be.
All right, so you're making a motion.
Just saying.
So, Commissioner Shaw made a motion to approve sending an existing employee, Terry Browder, to commercial driving school to obtain a CDL pursuant to the other discussions regarding entering into a contract.
We need to expedite that contract. The campus school starts pretty quick.
I'll second it, I may be in the same boat for a while.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve sending an existing employee, Terry Browder, to truck driving school to obtain a CDL. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? There is none. Consideration and possible approval of authorization to purchase 2 new vehicles. Sheriff's Department, I'm sorry, I skipped you.
I noticed, but I won't say it.
Typically say that, that's for last.
Well, then that's you, because you're on there last, right?
So you make sure next to the best.
What I like to do
Did
is
you dress up
purchase,
for Halloween, by the way?
I did.
I saw some pictures on Facebook of a party you were at, but I couldn't tell which one were you.
I wasn't there.
Okay.
Just for
You
the
never
record,
know what's gonna be discussed in here.
well, just for the record, I did not go for
Anyway, the 2 vehicles that I requested during the budget process, I'd like to go ahead and get authorization to purchase them. It's gonna be 2 pickups. One of them's gonna be for patrol. And the price on it is $54,702.55. They're 4-wheel drives, pursuit rated. The next one for CID, the price on it is $52,612.55.
how much?
$52,612.55. The difference being the patrol vehicles getting spotlights and all that stuff added to it. It's not on the agenda, but I would be requesting, I'm gonna have to come back an additional $15,000 per vehicle to upfit them, so I need to come back.
No, we'll approve we'll add 15,000, so the motion will be for the total price, including the outfitting.
Add another 30,000.
Yeah.
For those. These 2 vehicles are on the lot right now, so we can pick them up pretty pronto, and I do plan on financing them through American Leasing, like we've been doing. We don't have the numbers yet because we're waiting on the prices of the upfit on the equipment, so, but I'm guessing about 35,000 per year. Would price for both vehicles is kind of what it's been averaging. So it's gonna be about 35 to 40,000 per year for 5 years.
You paid for it pretty quick.
Yes. Here's those.
I've got 138, 312.
How you gonna have one?
I think that's right. That's the total. How do you make a pickup truck pursuit eligible for pursuit?
That's just a little heavier suspension, the motor's a little bigger and it doesn't have the cutoff on it. It shut down like 105, what most. It'll go up there and faster than you want to go.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go that fast pickup. A little light rear end, a little squirrely.
How much do you have?
138, 312?
137, 315. You may be right.
I guess that.
I'm good with it.
Everything good, Joe?
Hey,
137, 315, 10.
I'd make the motion to authorize the sheriff to purchase 2 new vehicles. Lease them, actually, isn't it? Lease them.
Well, we're gonna purchase them outright from Reliance Chevrolet. But then we're gonna, the payment's gonna be leased through American Leasing.
second. I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we have authorized the sheriff to purchase 2 new vehicles. And pay for the outfitting of those vehicles. And total somewhere 137, 138-ish. We'll have further details later. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Here's none.
And those are done to buy board or one of the others.
Right, they're all by board. We're actually buying them through Reliance Chevrolet through the Sheriff's Association because they started doing the by board. So the Sheriff's Association will actually get the stocking fee and price. Pardon?
Where's the lunch?
Reliable Chevrolet. I say reliable, it's reliable. Gosh, I should know that, Commissioner. We go there all the time.
Is that one in Decatur?
The back row.
Yeah.
Like you really just.
Looking at the bill and I can't see it on here either.
Reliable Chevrolet.
I'm sure I'll be getting a text. I'll let you know
Is
when
it
it's-
Richardson?
Richardson? Yes.
Consideration of possible approval authorizing create a new part-time position.
Is what I'd like to do is create an evening shift, part-time position. We have so many new employees and so many new regulations and compliance reports that we gotta do that it's not getting done. So I want to create a part-time position for compliance and safety because there's so many of my jailers getting assaulted here lately. It's just absolutely crazy. And it's not necessarily because we're so new or they're so new, it's just a group of people we're getting and I just want to be sure and train them a little more on how to defend themselves. And then the training overall, we're messing up paperwork so bad back there, whether booking in or booking out. And again, it's to the nudity of the employees and the supervisors. So I'm gonna get somebody experienced to go back there to oversee all this stuff and to do the reports and make sure that we're doing what we need to do to keep the employees safe in that jail in operation and keep the lawsuits down. I think right now I've only got maybe 2 lawsuits pending, so that's pretty good.
That's good.
But anyway, I want to pay for this position out of my commissary funds. Right now, I'm already paying for a full-time med clerk out of the commissary funds, and y'all are paying the benefits on that. I'm paying a part-time med clerk out of my commissary funds. And the way our commissary funds are up there now, a few years ago, I started selling e-cigs in there. And so we're making about $80,000 per year just off of the e-cigs. So I'm gonna utilize that money to benefit the inmates and the employees, to upgrade our process in the jail. Because we are falling short on most of the categories that I mentioned.
So this is a part-time, no insurance job.
Correct. And I'd like to start it at half the jailer's pay, starting at the half of the 45,000. Kind of prorate that at an hourly rate, whatever that is hourly, and not have them work more than 29 hours a week.
So have you got somebody in mind?
I'm gonna reach out to Becky Caffey. I'm telling you, I'm reaching out to Becky Caffey to see if she's ready. That's
Ready
good.
for next work?
I don't know, I hope so. There's kind of rumors out there, but that lady kept us going. I mean, not to say that Karen's ain't, but Becky always stays on top of everything. Pardon?
I knew her, she's over connections.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. she's
Absolutely, yeah, that's,
Great person.
she's on,
Maybe she can cross-train somebody else.
yeah, and that's exactly what we need to do. We just don't know.
What's the evening shift hours?
Just whatever they want it to be, basically. So, yeah. There's not gonna be any set hours, but it's gonna be working with each shift at the nighttime and then, in the evening time with the day shift, so. And more likely than not, we're fixing to start rotating shifts back there, just to help this situation out. You know, cause all the new employees go to nighttime, and the older employees move up to the day shifts. They don't have
Yeah,
this.
don't have any experience.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to authorize creating this new part-time position as discussed.
Like most of them, this part-time position to jail.
It's been moved and seconded that we authorize Sheriff Hill to create this new position that he's discussed this morning. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? There's none. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Consideration of possible action to participate with Brooksmith ISD for a grant application for creation of a safe room. Step forward. Now, did I call it a safe room?
Well,
I know there's a technical term.
it's field language, you can't call it a shelter.
Right, I knew that. I
Right,
couldn't call
so
it
this is a safe room, so this is, a shelter is actually, this is where you go to hang out. This is a place where you go to prevent getting injured and all that. This protects the kids, it's just the way they use life.
Right. I knew there was something I couldn't call it, so when I was doing the agenda, I knew not to say something. And so,
This is primarily a storm weather safe room, is that correct?
Correct, it's, it'll hold, 222 people, which will be all of our faculty, all of our kids, and we still have room for 35 community members. It's self-contained electric, water, toilet, and 3/8-inch steel walls, bolted to an 11-inch concrete foundation with a bunch of steel in it. It'll withstand the worst of the time, so.
all right, so you've kind of given, we have been talking, but kind of give them an update on.
Okay, so, the price has risen in the last 2 years that this has been in the works, from 262,000 to now we are at 341,000. And the way that when we first started the grant, we was a 30% share, so, but over time, it has gone down to 10%. So now we're going to 10% and FEMA pays the 90. What I understand the concern is from the county is that y'all don't want to be, you are the middleman in this because you are the grantee and we would be the sub-grantee. And normally, the way that would work is when the bill comes, it goes to you guys, you pay and bill us. But what I'm here to tell you is that we are prepared to have that knockout. And we will pay, however, we pay it directly, or if it comes to us, we'll pay it right out. And so we appreciate your help in getting this grant going. At the time, we were not able to apply for it ourselves, but now we are, but we're 2 years down the road.
So this is not costing us anything. They're paying the 10%.
We're paying, yes.
We did this before, like for the water station generator project, we talked about that today. The only thing we had to be concerned about is it pushes above some certain amount of grants that you have to be audited. We talked about that before in the past. We have too many different grants going out.
Right now, the only one that is doing that is the ARPA fund, but we can do a grant specifically on the ARPA fund and not everything else.
But,
I mean, do an audit.
and so there's that. And then we're probably fixing to do a FEMA, looks like we're going to do a FEMA grant to the tune of
About $1.5 million.
$1.5 million. But I don't know what that puts us, that's, but,
That doesn't all come in at one time, so a lot of
yeah,
times.
this would be a private bill, I'm assuming.
Sorry?
There's a bill that they go, that would charge you certain amounts.
Well, you know, I thought about that when we did with the county transportation infrastructure fund. We did the roads and then they billed us and we paid, and then they did the roads and we paid them. So it's like that. This one here, I'm thinking, this may not take more than a month. You'd have to, it's got an 11-inch slab and that's got a cure for 14 days. After that, the crew comes in with cranes and bolts that 3/8.
Prefab.
It's a Quonset type steel, yes.
Yeah, and is there like companies that do specialize in this?
There are a few, yes. Yes, there are. Yeah, we looked around, so, we just want to tell you that's, so we haven't gotten the notice of grant award yet, but this morning I had forwarded to Chief Johnson a letter from FEMA, from Tatum, that said, a few weeks ago, they sent us a letter saying, we're sorry, but you've been pushed into the secondary funding, which means we're not gonna be the first ones to get the grant money, we'll be the second one. But then we got a letter last week, which he should have us speak on, his email now, that says that we want primary funding. So even though they haven't given us a notice of grant award, they pretty much told us we're in there and we're going to get it. These shelters were recently pushed to top priority by FEMA for some reason.
And so I didn't know if, is that, this particular project ever been before the commissioners? I don't remember.
You know, I think, it was submitted back in April of 22, so it would have been in those minutes and that presented, and that would have been, a lot of them done it.
Yeah, I think it's been mentioned before, but never voted on.
Okay. So we just need to authorize them to go forward and that we are the grantee and they're the sub-grantee. That's that a term? Yes.
So, and Judge, as far as administering the grants, the county's still on the hook for it, for all the paperwork and all that until it's finished. So we'll have to be involved in all the reporting. So we on the
So
hook?
who's gonna do that?
Yeah,
So who's gonna do that?
Well, wait, let's take 1 minute at a time. Just ask, what did you say?
we respond to default.
Wait, I don't know what that means. I don't know what.
If they can't make their
Well, they're not making payments. They're paying for a project as it's constructed. It's not like.
We're going to pay
It's not.
incrementally or all at once, if it takes less than.
10% though. The 10%.
So if they don't pay, the county will have to pay as they go.
If they don't pay what?
Okay,
So when the work's certain stages, we'll get a bill for where it's at.
Yeah.
The county will have to pay that, and then we'll have to
We're not legally obligated to the construction company. They're gonna have, I'm assuming you're gonna have a contract with some kind of construction company. And so if they do construction and we don't make a payment, or a payment is not made, we're not responsible. Does that make sense?
Since the money's coming to us, won't we be responsible for the contractor?
We would only be responsible to FEMA. We would not be responsible to a contractor. They will have a contract with the contractor. We won't have a contract with the contractor. And so if the contractor performs work and doesn't get paid, then their recourse is to sue Brooks.
FEMA's holding us to the procurement process and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah, because we're the grantee. And so we're responsible to FEMA, you're responsible to the contractor.
So how much paperwork is that involved for county these things?
This one shouldn't be too bad, but I mean, probably not as bad as the road for us. It goes on for 2 or 3 years. It'd be a process.
That was Josie's question too.
Again, who's gonna do the paperwork?
Who does the spec work for every other grant?
Or Daryl's catching it right now.
There is $17,000 built into this grant. Y'all could hire a grant manager to track and to bill. That would be part of the grant, if you wish, or if not, Chief Johnson and I could do it.
Yeah, I think it'll get done. I mean, I think that you could do it. I mean, obviously you couldn't.
You won't have access to the grant.
I was getting there.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, he won't have access to the grant portal, he won't have authorization to do it, but as far as doing the work, I mean, so.
I think it's a great thing for the county and for the kids at Brooksmith out there. We just recently paid $800,000 to have our roof repaired from the storm 2 years ago. So our district is involved in, we do get bad weather. This would be a reasonable thing to do for our kids if we can do it.
I'll make a motion to approve. If somebody else wants to, I'll make a motion to approve participating with Brooksmith ISD and their grant application for creation of a safety room, with the understanding that the 10% match under the grant will be paid by Brooksmith ISD.
I'll second that. As long as I have to do the work myself.
Sir?
As long as I don't have to do the paperwork myself.
I'm afraid we'll take care of the paper. We'll do it.
Well, I mean, we can do the paperwork and then we're gonna bill for the administrative fee. And so, and what I'll make that part of our motion is that the county would be,
May I ask for something?
right, for the administrative portion of the administrative grant. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? There is none.
That what you needed?
Sir?
Is that what you needed?
That's it. Thank you very much. Brooksmith, thanks.
Let's see. So what happened, Joe, report?
I handed it to him. I'm sitting right there.
Y'all look at bills.
I didn't find the extra zeros on mine.
Like motion,
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the payment of the bills as prepared by the auditor. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There's none, and they pass. Anybody have any announcements, comments that need to be made? Commissioner Ward, is he sick?
Can you sign it for us?
Oh, yeah, it wasn't taken away.
Okay.
The, piece of paper you left me right
That's the
there,
one that.
road washout, is that anything new? Is that anything new?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yes, so that's that group 3 roads, they, scope work, so that,
I think
they,
there's
certain
one.
things, get the amount.
Did they approve that? We're through the town hall.
4 out of 6 so far.
We have a report on Tuesday as well. That is the second Tuesday of the month. Or second Tuesday.
Well,
Sam. Y'all put on meeting on Tuesday the 12th? Is that not the regular?
Oh, is that, I don't know.
No.
That's the regular meeting. Monday's
disregard it, Josh. So make sure you're right.
Okay.
She can't stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 6.
Monday.
Not Monday.
It's a regular meeting, but